Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is kind of a part two to my feminine perfumes. This is the rose version of that, you know what I mean? And actually I forgot to bring two, so I'm just gonna talk about them and put up a picture. So these are perfumes that I feel perfectly fit that feminine version of ourselves, that like womanly feminine. These evoke those feelings of femininity and make me feel like a woman. Which I love doing that with perfumes because I feel like my femininity, ugh, because I feel like my femininity sometimes needs to be brought out. It needs to be lured out or enhanced. You know what I mean? So I like using fragrances for that. So these are my top rosy feminine perfumes. Let's get right into it. I don't know where to start. They're all very feminine. I'm going to start though with Miss Dior Eau de Parfum, the 2017 version, not the new 2021 version. This to me smells like such a classy feminine lady. This has that, I guess you could call it kind of a jammy rose because it's not a super bright freshy rose, but the powderiness and the patchouli are the perfect combination for it. So the patchouli really grounds it and makes it a little bit earthy, but the powderiness is what takes it to the level of being super feminine. I do associate feminine perfumes with powdery notes. Like if there's powdery notes in there, that to me just makes it uber feminine. Is that just me? No, I think that's a thing, right? Like I think everybody associates that, or right? There's something about this, I don't know if it's now that it's reached this level of darkness, that smells a little bit, hear me out, mature and classic. But I mean mature in the absolute best possible way. I mean like a grown, mature, really has come into her own kind of woman, you know? And that's everything I would want to be. I've sometimes said that this smells like a woman that wears pearls, and I still feel that way. I feel like this would pair with pearls very well. That level of classy and elegant and sophistication. Like if you can pull off pearls in a non-ironic way, this is the perfume for you, if you like patchouli. But I also find patchouli to be very feminine when mixed with sweeter notes. This is absolutely gorgeous, lovely. This is the epitome of a feminine woman, and I just, like I said, this smells like pearls, like a pearl necklace to me. Very beautiful. This is Miss Dior 2017 by Dior. Next one is also a beautiful rosy perfume, but this one has leather grounding it. It has a very bright rosy opening, and it's like, it's a very bright opening, but the leather in here just kind of adds a little bit of that grown-up seriousness that it needs for it to be a well-balanced woman. And that's what it smells like, because you know how leather kind of gives you this like edgy, slightly vampy side? That's almost like a needed element, you know? It's not a soft woman, it's very grounded, and a woman with a voice who can speak her mind because she's, you know, come into her own. So the rose is very feminine, the leather is very assertive, so it kind of gives me just a well-rounded, well put together feminine woman, and I love that. This is an easy reach. This is an everyday kind of perfume. I don't think that it's super sophisticated like the Miss Dior one, but I still think that it's a very feminine, it's a very feminine one, and I love it. I think this is great for everyday feminine rosy perfume, and that is Coach, Just a Coach Signature. I know, I always use this one, but this is Coco Mademoiselle. This is a rose and orange and patchouli fragrance. This is an older bottle that I went and found on Mercari because the new bottle just didn't hit the same for me anymore. I don't know if it's because it needed to sit, but I don't know, the new bottles just don't do it for me. I went and found a used one that I found on Mercari because this smells like what I remember it to be, and it smells really patchouli heavy, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for that deep, earthy patchouli, because to me, that deep, earthy patchouli, along with the rose and the like kind of citrusy notes, it's like the perfect balance of femininity but empowered feminine. This to me was the original boss perfume before like something like Libre or something came on the market. This was the office boss, woman in charge kind of perfume, and that's how I still see it. It's a feminine, empowered woman. It will always like mean that to me. I used to wear this to the office. Maybe some people are sensitive to patchouli, but to me, this smells. This is like the perfect office fragrance if you want to be taken seriously and if you want to feel empowered. You know what I mean? So that is Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. I don't want to talk about it too much because I always talk about it, but it's the epitome of a sophisticated, empowered woman. Oh, and a great alternative and more affordable and a little bit lighter, airier version of that. Maybe it's fresher and slightly powderier version of something like Coco Mademoiselle. It's Club de Nuit Woman. It's very similar, but not exactly. But I still like this on its own, regardless of how close it is to that one, which it is pretty close. It's close, but it's not it. Like, it's not a clone in my opinion. It's kind of a little bit of its own thing because there's a tiny bit more powderiness. There's a tiny bit of a fresher vibe as well. And then there's a little bit more like an aroma chemical. So to me, this smells a little bit more modern than that one, but I still really like this one. And I still think that this is assertive and powerful in a way, in a more modern version, but very similar to Coco Mademoiselle, and that is Armand Club de Nuit. So I still think this is one to check out. Very similar, but also very good. I like having both. I feel like I would want to keep both in my collection. I don't feel like this is one where you can have one or the other. The other one is more for special occasions, and this I would see more as an everyday office perfume, you know? Okay, the other one that I think is a great one is a more modern type of rose. This is a jammy rose with some coffee, and I mean more like Intense Cafe, but I only have Intense Cafe Ristretto, but it's still very similar, just a little bit more coffee. This to me is a very modern type of scent because you couldn't find anything that smelled like this before. This is to me, I see this like a new type of gourmand that's come on the market that uses aroma chemicals and these notes that I just know that this wouldn't have or couldn't have existed in the past. I don't know if that makes sense. That like boozy, jammy rose is very unique and it's very of this time. So this to me smells like a modern, empowered woman, still not to be taken lightly, still a serious person, but in a very edgy, modern way. Empowered and well put together woman. You ever see those women that they're in positions of power, but they still dress like they're still dressed their best? They're not dressed like, somehow they still keep up with the style and like what's new and they're wearing like the latest fashion trend. They're not stuck in their ways. That's kind of what this gives me. This gives me modern woman. This smells like a modern woman, modern, mature, in her element, very strong and powerful woman who has really adjusted to the times. So it's a lovely perfume and it kind of makes me feel that way. It makes me feel like a modern, sophisticated kind of woman. And that is Montel's Ristretto Intense Cafe. It's beautiful. So let's move on to the last one. The last one is a little bit similar to that one. It is Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper. This is also strong, powerful, but very feminine. I think this one is less on the powerful, even more on the feminine. Not that it's girly, but it's just uber feminine because there's some powderiness in there. I think that there's a touch of oud in here that just keeps it from being girly or like soft, because there's a little bit of like a jammy fruit in there, like a jammy rose, but then the oud grounds it, and then there's something like syrupy. Like I can almost visualize rose jam or rose syrup just dripping. It's so juicy. And the powderiness, you know, like I said, powdery notes just make me feel like powdery notes just make it seem even more feminine. To me, this is feminine all around. This is also a very modern perfume. So I do see this as a very modern grown woman, you know, of these times. Like when I smell these perfumes, I feel like I will think of the 2020s. You know what I mean? This is the kind of signature scent of the modern woman in the 2020s. So 20 years from now, when I smell something like this, I'm gonna look back and feel like this is what femininity smelled like in the 2020s. You know, when it's 2050 and there's all these new random perfume. I don't know what we're gonna smell like in 30 years, but I know that this is the kind of perfume of the 2020s. This is the epitome of feminine, modern feminine. And I love it. I love wearing it. I think that there's so much going on here and I love it. And it's very beautiful. And that is Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper. And the ones that I forgot, I still wanted to talk about because they're so beautiful. One is Tuile de Hermes El Pouvre. That has rose and patchouli and a lot of pink pepper. I don't know what other notes are in there. I just know that that's in there. And it is such a beautiful perfume. To me, it smells like the big sister to something like Valentino's Donna Born in Roma. I don't know if I just think that because of the pink pepper or if that's real or if anybody else would even ever think that, but it is such a beautiful grown-up rose perfume. That one is like a floral, it's just the epitome of like a super dressed up. That one almost to me smells like what a royal queen would wear. It's so beautiful. It is elegant. It's elegant at its core. It's not modern and it's not dated. It is literally classic and absolutely timeless. It's beautiful. That is probably one of the best floral perfumes I've ever smelled. And then the other one, of course, is the absolute classic. I only have a travel of it, but I still forgot to bring it up here, and it's Delina Exclusive. I don't know. I know Delina is everybody's everything, but because Exclusive it's literally like Delina, but smoother and with the powdery notes, to me that is the epitome of femininity. Rose is already like, I mean, isn't rose like women's signature flower? Or did I just make that up? But it is to me. To me, roses symbolize femininity, you know? So a rose perfume with powdery notes that I consider to be super feminine, and you mix that, you're gonna have the most uber feminine, womanly perfume in Delina Exclusive. Out of both of them, I do prefer the exclusive version. I do think Delina, the regular one, has its place. If you're into a more musky type of rose, I'm definitely more into the powderiness of Exclusive. So that one to me is the epitome of femininity. I mean, it's pink. It smells like womanhood. It's beautiful, classy, elegant, sophisticated, all of the above. So that is going to be it. These are my favorite rose-centered feminine perfumes. Last time though, I forgot a bunch and then you guys told me about them. You guys told me about some of these and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are right. So there's a chance that I forgot some more. So I would like to know what perfume you wear to make you feel in your feminine element. If you even need a perfume to take you there, because I really do. I really do like to use perfume for that. What other ones do you recommend that take you there? Because I love that vibe. And all of these have like a different time and place, you know? Like I said, one is if you're dressed up enough to wear pearls. One is if you are feeling modern. One is more for the office. So these all have a time and a place. I would never dare choose. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye. Toodaloo. What are we gonna smell like in 30 years, guys? What are we gonna smell like? Are we gonna smell like literal rain? Maybe there'll be perfumes that like hack our brain and make us work. Or maybe there'll be drugs in the scents that will drug us and give us energy. Maybe we won't need to drink coffee anymore because you smell a perfume and it's gonna make you productive. I don't know. Maybe we'll go back to florals and just have these heavy florals because maybe flowers will be extinct.